Hello and welcome to the very first video on this channel. This is gonna be a Bulbasaur only solo challenge where we use no items in battle, no other Pokemon except for Bulbasaur, and we use no glitches or exploits. This is gonna be one of the first runs I'll ever do, and it's pretty exciting. I've loved Pokemon since forever. It's probably the show that I grew up with. I played most of their games, and I'm rewatching the anime as we speak. I'm now in season 2, so that's very exciting. But let's get on with the run. We started here, and we are gonna choose the Bulbasaur. We don't need any cheat device because Bulbasaur is one of the 3 starters, so that's very easy and convenient. And we will let Gary or Red or Blue or whatever you want to call him choose the Charmander. So we are going into our very first rival battle here, and we are just gonna spam tackle. He's gonna hit us with a Scratch, which does a little bit more damage than our tackle, I believe, but it does a growl here and there, so we can easily take the victory. And now it is time to start our adventure. We will go to the first town, pick up our parcel for Professor Oak and head back. Once back, we will deliver it to him, and Gary, Red, Blue will show up as well, and they will give us our first Pokédex. With that out of the way, it is time to move on. We are gonna backtrack a little bit and catch a Pidgey, which we'll use later for Fly. So right now we're hunting for one. We get these Rattatas, but we will run into a Pidgey very soon. Once we encounter the Pidgey, we will capture it. Please no critical strikes, and it's a critical hit, so we have to look for another one. Luckily, only a few encounters later we get a new one, so please no critical hit this time. Perfect, so now we will be able to capture it with a Pokeball and save it for later. Once we get to Viridian Forest, we will clear out some of the trainers here to get some experience points, which will be useful for later on, because you will see that certain points in the game have a very high level requirement or stat requirement before we are able to pass those points. Especially some of the rival fights, and Elite Four is going to be especially a high requirement. So we will fight against most trainers that we can in order to get as much of the experience as we can. So we're going to fight this trainer as well, and as we do, it's going to be a very easy fight. We leech seed them in order to get some health back while we fight, and then just whittle them down with a tackle. So next up is a Kakuna, also by the same trainer. It's going to be very easy. We have reached level 9 by now, so we're going to leech seed him in order to get some health back while he hardens, and then we are just going to tackle him down. Next up is the final trainer of Viridian Forest with his notorious level 9 Weedle, but as we are level 10 ourselves by now, it's going to be not much of a problem. We leech seed as we always do, and then just tackle him down. It's going to be a pretty easy fight compared to other Pokemon, whereas some can only use Struggle or other types of non-effective moves. So with Bulbasaur it is an okay breeze. Next up is going to be Brock. First we're going to fight the junior trainer, and let's see how that goes. Comes out with a Diglett. We are a level 11, we don't have Fine Whip yet, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. We leech seed in order to prolong the fight a little bit and then tackle him down, but he is doing consistent and a lot of damage to us, so that's not ideal. We do manage to get him down and reach level 12, but the Sandshrew is going to be a bit of a problem. We only have 8 HP, and as you can see he will scratch us until we faint, so that's going to be a bit of grinding required. We're going to go into the fields and level a little bit up. When we come back we are level 13, we have Vine Whip, which is going to be super effective, and that's going to take quick care of the junior trainer's Pokemon. Comes out with the Sandshrew, the one that beat us last time, but this time we are able to Vine Whip him. We potion up and we go straight into Brock. We're going to save just in case, and then we are going to challenge the first gym leader. As we do, he brings out his Geodude. We're going to Vine Whip, it's going to be super effective, it's a one-hit KO. And then next up is the Onyx, and also the same, we're going to Vine Whip him and it's going to be a one-hit KO. We reach level 15 and we move on with our first badge secured. Next up is Mount Moon. It's going to be pretty easy. Most of the wild encounters and the Pokemon here are rock type or water type, so that's going to be pretty easy. We do get into the fight with this very first last here, and as she puts us to sleep, there's very little we can do. She starts pounding away, at our health and it's doing considerable damage. And we wake up, but we're only at 3 HP. We try to tackle, but she's gonna finish us off with a final sing. And as we are sleeping, we are praying that we wake up and that she doesn't do any damaging abilities, but she pounds and it's gonna be the end of it. So we decide to skip her, go into the other fights and complete Mount Moon. So first up is gonna be Misty. We're gonna be fighting the trainers here at the gym to get some bonus XP. We're already at level 21 right now. Their attacks against us are gonna be not so effective, so that's gonna be an easy breeze. We use Vine Whip to take out the Horsey and the Shelter, and that's gonna be that, level 22. After healing up, it's gonna be time to challenge Misty herself. So we save in front just in case we lose, but I don't suspect that we will, given our type advantage. So let us begin. First up, Staryu. We use a Vine Whip. It does over half HP, and a second Vine Whip takes it out. Then next is Starmie. We use the same strategy. It's gonna be a 3-hit KO. So, or not even, it's going to be a 4-hit KO, so she takes us down all the way to 7 HP, but we managed to take Starmie down. Misty is defeated and we have our second badge. Next up is the second rival fight. This is going to be a bit tricky. I'm not sure how we'll manage. His Pidgeot is usually the biggest problem, especially with the sand attacks. She does manage to get one off, and then a quick attack, and then a gust, so we keep tackling away, slowly whittling down her HP, but as you can see we are missing quite a lot and our HP is going down. We're down to 6 HP, does another sand attack, we keep missing and it is a lost cause. So we go into it again, and this time we try a Vine Whip to see how much damage that does, but that does very little damage. So we try the Leech Seeder to prolong the fight. She does a few sand attacks, he or she. I'm not sure what gender the Pidgeot is. And because of all the sand attacks we are starting to miss, but we do manage to get her down. Now Abra is next. We go for a Leech Seed in the hopes of getting our HP up a little bit, but we do one-shot it with a tackle. Next up is Rattata. We try to Leech Seed it again, but we start missing because of all the sand attacks from the Pidgeot. So we try to just go into the tackles. We do hit them, and then next up, or finally, it's gonna be the Charmander. We try to Leech Seed once again, but the Ember takes us down. Now, the third try is gonna be a little bit better if I recall correctly, because I did record this yesterday, so it is a little bit of time ago. We just go for the tackle spam with one Leech Seed, and we do get her down, and she didn't sand attack us. Next up is gonna be the Abra. We Leech Hit it and then we spam Growl. And then we spam Growl in order to get all the way back to full HP. This does take a while, so I will see you when this is over. As we whittle it down, we have regained most of our HP back, and now we can go into the next battle with Rattata with decent high HP. We just go for the tackles instead of setting up Leech Seed and all that, wasting turns. And we're gonna do the same for Charmander. He starts scratching us. As long as he doesn't do an Ember, we should be fine. We get a critical hit on the tackle and we defeat Red. We quickly pass by Bill. We get our SSN ticket, and that's gonna be this short part. Next up is gonna be the Rocket, who gives us Dig. He shouldn't be much of a problem. He comes out with a Machop, we go for Razor Leaf. We do get a critical hit, so it's gonna take him down in one hit. And then next up is the Drowsy. We go for a Razor Leaf once again. It is a critical hit, but it doesn't take him down, so we just go for a tackle to finish him off. Then we get Dig, which we will teach. We pick up TM8 in the SSN, which is gonna be Body Slam. We are going to teach this to Bulbasaur instead of a tackle. It's going to have more base attack, and it's going to be a really good move. It's going to be our physical move throughout the playthrough. So right now we have a moveset containing of a grass type with Vine Whip and Razor Leaf, and on the other end it's going to be Body Slam. So next up is the next rival number 3 on the SSN, and we're gonna fight him with half of our HP, which we have lost from doing all the battles that we did on the SSN. So Raticate comes out, goes for a Hyper Fang, does a critical hit, we take it out in one hit with Body Slam. Kadabra comes out and we are gonna tackle it. Confusion does take us out in one hit, or whatever remaining HP we have, so we are gonna try again. Pidgeot comes out, we go for Body Slam, we almost one hit it, another Body Slam finishes it off. Next out is Raticate. We barely don't one shot it, so we're gonna go for another Razor Leaf, which will take it out. And next up is Kadabra. We go for a Body Slam, Confusion does decent damage on us, he then goes for a Teleport, which does nothing, and Charmeleon is next. We just go for Body Slam, Ember does a lot of damage and takes us out, so third try is the charm, we go into it again. Red comes out with a Body Slam, we have healed up in the Poké Center all the way up, just in case that we have a better chance. We just go for a Body Slam spam on this fight. Raticate goes down, Kadabra comes out, we just go for Body Slam once again, Confusion does big damage. And next up is Charmeleon, we just go for Body Slam, he does 1 Ember, we survive with 4 HP, and we take him out with Body Slam. So spamming Body Slam was eventually the right thing to do. We get the HM1 from the captain by rubbing his back, and that will be Cut, which we will teach to Paris as well. Once in Lieutenant Surge's gym, we take out the trainers that are there, and then next up is Lieutenant Surge himself. He starts out with a Voltorb, we go for a Body Slam, and it almost takes him out in one shot. He does get paralyzed and a second one takes him out. Next is going to be a Pikachu. Once again we will go for the Body Slam spam, and it takes him out in one shot. We level up to level 33, and lastly is the Raichu. We just go for Body Slam, it looks like it's going to be a 3-hit KO, and it is. He goes for an X-Speed, which does nothing, and we get our third badge. Next up is going to be Rock Tunnel. Rock Tunnel is pretty easy, most of the wild Pokemon are rock types. There's going to be a lot of hikers as well, like this famous hiker with 2 Geodudes and a Graveler, but with Razor Leaf we can one-shot all of them. It's going to be very easy. I suspect that this will be a lot harder with a different Pokemon if I do more videos like this. But for now, we are pretty lucky to have a Bulbasaur, which will take all of them out in one hit. Next up, we go shopping. We are gonna get the fresh water from the vending machines in the big mart, in order for us to get by the guards that guard the entrance to most of the cities, so we have an easier way to walk around the world. We are gonna do the game corner and do the rocket hideout that is connected to it. First we have to defeat this trainer, which we do very easily, and then next up is gonna be Giovanni in the rocket hideout. He has a lot of rock Pokemon. He has a lot of Pokemon that are weak to our grass moves. So first up is the Onyx, which will go down to Razor Leaf in one hit. Next up is gonna be Rhyhorn, which is also gonna be super easy. Next up is gonna be Kangaskhan. He uses a guard spec, which is very good for us because we can one-hit critical hit it. And that is Giovanni. We go and pick up the TM for Fly, or the HM for Fly I should say, to teach to Pidgey. And then next up we are gonna do the gym next to Sabrina's gym, where we will be able to choose between a Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan. We don't take any of them because obviously we're doing a solo challenge, so it doesn't benefit us, but we do this for the XP that it gives us, which is going to be very useful in the future. As you can see, both his Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are very easy for us. We do run out of PP for Body Slam, but with a Razor Leaf and a critical hit we are able to finish them off. Next up, in the Ghost Tower, we will do rival number 4, I believe. First up is going to be the Pidgeot once again. That's going to be the biggest bane of our existence, if I can put it that way. We're going to put it to sleep and then set up some growths. Growth is going to be able to, through the badge boost, going to be able to benefit us by boosting our stats even more. and with that we can just one-shot most of his team. Gyarados does barely hang on with the sliver, so we finish him off. We level to level 45, and then Kadabra comes out with a body slam. It is a one-hit KO, and finally Charmeleon is going to be no threat to us as we two-shot it with a body slam. We rescue Mr. Fuji, and he will give us the Poke Flute, so we're able to wake up the Snorlax so that we can move on more quickly and move on in general to the next area, to Koga. I did forget to do Erica, so I backtracked to her gym. It's easy to forget her, I guess, because you're so focused on continuing the story, and continuing feels like, you know, Erica isn't a checkpoint that you have to get through in order to be able to progress through the game. So I did think of her. I did decide to go back and fight the trainers in her gym. Here against this Gloom we barely hang on with 7 HP, but it only does 1 damage to us every turn. So when we are able to attack, and because we're paralyzed, when we are able to attack, we are able to take it down. So now Erica herself, we're gonna fight her and claim our 4th badge. She starts with a Victory Bell. We are gonna try to put her to sleep. We miss, and we're just gonna go for Razor Leaf, which was a misclick obviously, because that is gonna be non-effective, and we start spamming our body slams. Victory Bell goes down, and next up is Tangelo, or Tangelo. We start body slamming it. It does a bind, which does very little damage, but it traps us in a continuous cycle, but we outspeed, so when it's over we are able to finish it off. Vileplume is next, and with 2 body slams it goes down. So that is the end of Erica and the start of our 4th badge. Next up is the 2nd Rocket Hideout. We're gonna quickly go through this. So once you get to know the route, it's not very hard to get it. You go down here, go back, fight this little trainer, and then you're able to pick up the card key. You go through this little gate, go through the jump pad or the teleport pad, open the gate to the left, and use this one, and this is gonna be the next rival number 5. So once again he starts with a Pidgeot, which is now evolved, and is gonna do a wing attack. It's gonna do about 1/3 of her health, and we start body slamming it. We take it down, but we only have 23 health left. The execute is going to be very easy. It only does reflect and poison powder, which we are not affected by. So a smart thing to do would be to set up growths, but I just decided to go for body slams. Next up is Gyarados. We try Razor Leaf. It is not effective. We go for the body slam. He does Dragon Rage and takes us out. Try again once more with body slam. This time we are gonna set up against the execute, get our growth, try to go for 6, which is the maximum that you can do before it doesn't do anything anymore. And with that done, we are gonna go for the body slam spam, which is gonna do a lot more damage right now. He goes down, and next is Gyarados, so we are just gonna go for body slam, but Dragon Rage takes us out once again. 3rd time's a charm, maybe, potentially, like last time. We get a wing attack against us, we get a 2nd wing attack, which is a critical strike, and that means we cannot survive. So we go to Koga instead, save the game just in case, and here we go. He starts out with a coughing. We are just gonna do the body slam spam once again. We are at level 54 right now, so we should be able to outlevel them a little bit. Next up is the Muck. We go for body slam once again, does about 1/3 HP. It's gonna be a 3-hit KO, and body slam finishes him off. Next up is another coughing. Body slam is gonna paralyze. He does sludge, which does little damage, and 2 hits of body slam takes out the coughing. Finally is the wheezing. We get a critical hit. We do another body slam and another body slam. He gets paralyzed. He does smog, which does little damage comparatively, and we finish it off with a Razor Leaf, leveling to 55 and securing our 5th badge. Next up is the Safari Zone. Now I remember as a kid I would wander around this place not being able to find the clue or the goal that we had to do here. So it is, as a kid, I remember this being an actual maze, and I was not able to progress through the game without Surf, which I didn't know. It wasn't hinted at a lot, I think. So right now I do know how to walk the path, sort of, and we get Surf, we teach it to Lapras, and we go back to rival number 5 to give it another shot. We did level up a little bit by now, so hopefully that will be enough to make the difference in this fight. So he taunts us once again, but as we challenge him, we are now at level 55, and we just go straight for the body slam spam. Wing attack does a lot of damage to us, but it's gonna be not a problem. We do growth, we set up the growths against execute because once again he does only moves that don't affect us. And as we set them up, he's gonna do a reflect every now and then, which makes him tank the body slam a little bit better. But it's gonna be useful to set up the growth for his other Pokemon. So execute goes down. Next up is Gyarados. We do a body slam, almost takes him down in one hit. Second body slam takes him out. And then Alakazam is gonna be a one shot with body slam. And then finally is Charizard. We've never gotten this far, but as he uses a potion, we get a free win and defeat red number 5. Next up is going to be Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout. First up is going to be Nidorino. We just go for the body slam spam once again. Body slam is proving to be a very, very good move for us. And it proves its point against Kangaskhan as well. Most Pokemon with body slam are going to be a 2-hit, 3-hit, 1-hit, 4-hit, potentially, maybe, at the very maximum. And the other things that we can knock out is going to be with Razor Leaf. So we have Razor Leaf for all that it is effective against, and then body slam for all the rest, basically. Nidoqueen will go down, and that will secure our victory against Giovanni. Next up is going to be Sabrina. Now Sabrina is notorious for being a psychic trainer, and psychic is super effective against us, so that is a bit scary. But right now we are level 57, and a single body slam is gonna take out the first Kadabra. It is gonna almost kill Mr. Mime, but they confuse us, and that's not good, because when we are confused we can hit ourselves in confusion, and that is gonna be a problem. Venomoth does take us out, so we have to try again. So we know that Kadabra is a 1-hit KO with body slam. Mr. Mime is gonna be a 2-hit KO. Venomoth we now reach with a lot more HP. He does poison powder, which does not affect us, and with another body slam we are able to take it down. Alakazam is last. He does Psy Wave, which does very little damage, and then goes for Reflect, and 2 body slams take it down, giving us our next badge. We do go back to Fuchsia City to give the gold teeth to this guy right here in order to get strength, which is another thing next to Erica that I forgot. So I had to backtrack a little bit. We teach it to Lapras in order to move some boulders, and we will move this boulder in his room to get a rare candy. Once we get to Blaine, we first have to do the Pokemon Mansion. So we do that again. This is going to be a relatively easy puzzle. I do get the statue here wrong. The first one you don't have to touch at all, which I did. So I reverted back to its original position. We take the next stairs up here, and then this is the statue that you have to interact with. Go down, fall on the right side of the... I'm not sure if it matters which side you fall on between those 2 steps that you can take there. But I always fall down the right one. We hit another switch, find some TMs in here. Let's see, 14 is going to be Blizzard, which is no use to us, unfortunately, in this run. And then TM22, which we found is what's going to be Solar Beam. It is a move that we learn by level up, but I decided not to teach it to Bulbasaur. And we find the secret key. So, up next is going to be Blaine himself. When we fight Blaine, he is a fire Pokemon trainer, so that is a bit scary. But we are level 59, so a couple of body slams are gonna be able to power through most of the Pokemon. The first Growlithe goes down with 2 body slams. Ponyta does go for a fire spin, which is gonna trap us, but it does surprisingly little damage. for a fire move against us, so another Body Slam will take it down. Then next up is Rapidash. Now Rapidash is an evolution of Ponyta, so it's gonna have a lot more health and a lot more stats, so it does tank the Body Slam pretty well. Arcanine does hang on with a sliver after a couple Body Slams. We are down to 37 HP, but we do manage to finish it off with a Body Slam and a Razor Leaf, because we did run out of PP for Body Slam, so I was a bit worried there, but we did manage to finish it off. Next up is going to be the 8th gym, and the final gym before the Elite Four. So Giovanni first comes out with a Rhyhorn. Once again, that is weak to our Razor Leaf, so we are going to use that and knock him out in one hit. Next is going to be Dugtrio, which is also weak to our Razor Leaf, so once again that's going to be a one-hit KO. Next is Nidoqueen. We go for a Body Slam, which does about 1/3 damage, a second one, and a third one, which knocks it out. Next is going to be Nidoking, which we try Razor Leaf against. We get a critical hit, so that does loads of damage, and a second one does knock it out. Finally, Rhydon is going to be weak against Razor Leaf once again, and it is a one-hit KO. So with that, we have all our 8 badges, and we are ready to go to the Elite Four. Before we do have one more rival battle that we have to face, and here we go. So Pidgeot is up first. We do a Body Slam. We try to get just through the Pidgeot as fast as possible, in order to get as least amount of sand attacks that we can. So next up is Rhyhorn. It's going to be weak to a Razor Leaf. We didn't get one sand attack, so we are gonna be powering through this. Execute. We know we can set up our growth against, because it's gonna be doing non-effective moves against us. And as we get all 6, we will start switching to Body Slam, which almost takes it out in one hit, so that's pretty impressive. And then next is going to be Gyarados. We just do the Body Slam tactic once again. I've noticed how much we use Body Slam. For a grass type, you would think that you will use a lot more different types of moves, grass moves maybe. But a lot of the enemies that we are against are just a neutral move, like Body Slam is going to be a lot better. Charizard does take us out here, and we have to reset. We were doing so well as well. But Charizard did take us out, so once again we go for the Pidgeot, Body Slam it down, Razor Leaf against the Rhyhorn, which is going to be super effective, and then execute. We will set up our growths once again. We set up 6 of them and then go for Body Slam once again, almost taking it out in one hit. We miss an attack, but we finish it off with Razor Leaf. Next up is going to be Gyarados. We will use Body Slam once again, taking it down in 2 Body Slams. We are still full HP, which is going to help for the Charizard. Alakazam is going to be a one-hit. And then finally Charizard, the one that took us down last time, he's just going to do a Flamethrower and burn us, but we take it out in 2 hits. And that is going to be the final fight in the regular world. And next up is going to be the Elite Four. So first, Lorelei. We are gonna challenge her and see how far we can get. We are now level 63, so let's see what we can do. We get 1 Aurora Beam against us, which is a critical hit, and it takes us out. We are gonna try again immediately, because that might have just been a bit unlucky. So we go for Sleep Powder, put it to sleep. Hopefully that is gonna be able to let us set up our growth. We aren't too far over level. This is why I battle so many trainers in the main game, because I know that this Elite Four is going to be such a hurdle. So we are going to go for Razor Leaf, knocking it out in 1 single hit. Cloyster is next. We go for Razor Leaf and knock it out in a single hit once again, and level to level 64. Slowbro is going to come out. We do Razor Leaf once again, knocking it out in 1 single hit. Next is Jinx, which I tried a Razor Leaf against, but it does Ice Punch and freezes us, and once you get freezed in Gen 1, unless they use a fire move against you, there's not much you can do. So we have to reset once again. I decided to just level it out and get the grind behind us because I knew that we probably wouldn't make it at the level that we were. So at level 87 it is becoming somewhat consistent, which is a pretty high level, I think. But I just got the grind out of the way, thinking that it was better this way instead of, you know, trying, making this video super lengthy. Because the playthrough itself was pretty lengthy already. I think I completed it at about 10 hours or 10 hours plus. So there was a lot of footage to get through. So I decided to just go for the grind. Now Lorelei we defeated, all with 1 hits I believe. And next is Bruno. His Onyx comes out, it is weak to our Razor Leaf. We knock it out in a single hit. Hitmonchan comes out, we go for the trusty old Body Slam. It is gonna be a 2-hit KO there. It does a bit of damage to us, but we take it down, and next is Hitmonlee. Now Hitmonlee is a 1-hit KO, and then Onyx is gonna be, the second Onyx is gonna be another 1-hit KO. And we will take on the Machamp finally at last, with Razor Leaf is gonna be a 2-hit KO. So far Lorelei done, Bruno done, and we leveled to level 88. So it is looking pretty good for us. Next is gonna be Agatha, the Ghost and Psychic Trainer. Next is gonna be Agatha, so for now we're gonna put the Gengar to sleep and then whittle away with Razor Leaf. Razor Leaf is gonna do about 1/3 damage, with a critical hit, mind you, but it does have a pretty high critical hit rate, so that should happen pretty often. Next is Golbat, we go for the Body Slam, but it confuses us, and confusion, we don't get affected by it, in the sense that we get lucky, and we are able to get through our moves. Now for Haunter, we do get hit ourselves in confusion once, we put it to sleep, and we try to whittle away at it with Razor Leaf. We do 1 Razor Leaf, and then we try to put it to sleep once again. It goes for Confuse Ray once again. We hurt ourselves in confusion. It goes for Dream Eater, which doesn't affect us. We put it to sleep once again, and it swaps to Arbok. Now we are no longer confused and go for Body Slam, which will take it out in 2 hits. And next is going to be the Haunter, which is still asleep, so we can just whittle away with it at with Razor Leaf. Next up is the final Gengar. I misclicked for Body Slam, which doesn't affect her, of course. We put it to sleep and then start doing the Razor Leaves. We are running out of PP, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem for current fights. I have 1 elixir, I believe. So we do the Razor Leaves, and it is still asleep. It just stays asleep, which is excellent. And we finish it off. Agatha is defeated, only 2 more fights to go. Right here you can see that I am running out of PP for Razor Leaf and Slam. Slam, okay, you know, I have 7 left. Razor Leaf only 2, so we are probably gonna use a item here. We go for the Elixir, and PP was restored. Next up is Lance, the Dragon Trainer. So we're gonna challenge him, and hopefully this goes well. Starts out with a Gyarados. We go for Sleep Powder, put it to sleep, and start setting up Growth. He wakes up, we go for another Sleep Powder, he falls asleep again, and we continue setting up our Growth. Then we go for Razor Leaf. It does crit, so it doesn't benefit from the Growth, because when it crits it ignores all the stat changes. So for the Dragonair we go for Body Slam, it's going to be a 1-hit KO. The second Dragonair is going to be the same story. Aerodactyl we're just going to Body Slam, it looks like it's going to be a 3-hit KO. He heals it full with a potion. Body Slam is going to be a 3-hit KO once again. It goes for Hyper Beam, which does surprisingly little damage. And finally it's going to be the Dragonite. It goes for Agility, luckily that doesn't do anything. And we defeat Lance. And finally it's going to be our rival. So once again he will start with a Pidgeot, which is going to be our biggest worry. We put it to sleep really quickly and we start setting up our growths. After setting up enough growths we go for Body Slam, taking it out in a single hit. Alakazam is going to be a 1-hit as well. And then next up, we level up to level 89, and next up is going to be Rhydon. We use Razor Leaf. It is a one-hit KO. This is looking really good. Next up is going to be Executor, sorry. He puts us to sleep, so that is really scary, and we are paralyzed. No, he is paralyzed. Sorry, I'm getting it all mixed up. We wake up, we use Body Slam. He tries to put us to sleep again, but it doesn't work. And next is the Gyarados. We only have one Body Slam remaining, which I do want to save for the final Pokemon. So we go for Razor Leaf and take it out in 2 hits. Next is going to be Charizard. We put it to sleep. We use the Body Slam and the Razor Leaf. And one more should do it. He is fast asleep. So we finish it off with a Razor Leaf. And that is Red defeated, and Pokemon Blue, which is the version that we used, completed. So, what did you think of this? Did I do a good job? Was it super cringy? This is my very first time, so I'm not very experienced doing this. I did have a lot of fun doing it, and I do intend to do more if this gets some positive feedback. If it gets negative feedback, I'll probably do more as well. The reason why is because I do love watching these types of videos, so I thought I might as well create some of my own. I was a bit nervous doing this, you know, talking over the footage and trying to put my thoughts all together. English is not my native language, so if I stumble over my words or make some weird sentence constructions and, you know, mangle with all that stuff, that's gonna be on me, but I do take a little bit of pride in that, as I should. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this is something that is worth watching and worth watching in the future. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next time.